All right, my new GreenStalk, which is blue, is part of a set of the red, white, and blue 3-tier, and it has a leaf at the top, and when you see it next to the 5-tier, it seems like a more reasonable size. I'm really liking it, and this is on top of the wheel set that I made that was custom and is made from a furniture mover from Harbor Freight, and it cost $14, and everything else I still had in the garage. And I've got it set up empty. You can see, I do think that for plastic, that they really have mastered some quality production at GreenStalk. You can see how each piece comes apart. That's the leaf size. These are the deep ones, that original, that contain 1 cubic foot of material. And it's set up to fill it. And I think what I'm going to have to do to make this connect properly is to make a couple of holes in the trolley and put a bolt through there so that they really stay on. But you can see how solid this is, and the casters are made out of steel, and the base is made out of wood. I painted it to match, and if this thing works out, I'm going to make 2 more of them for the white and the red that I have that are set up identically. I was worried about my GreenStalk falling off of my homemade mover, so what I did is I drilled a couple of holes in the top of the mover, and I put some very sturdy galvanized bolts that run all the way through to the bottom in the hand tighten, and there's plenty of clearance. There's the half the diameter of the wheel worth of clearance. And I had them so they're free, which is part of the money-saving effort of this base. And so now I think I'm ready to start filling. This is my potting soil. I am using primarily inorganic or at least stabilized materials, the way that Gary Matsuoka suggests in all of his materials. He uses some different things, but I have some options that he does not, because I'm not producing a large amount of potting mix. The ingredients that I use are this peat moss that I buy at, actually all of these materials I buy at the at Concentrates in Milwaukee, which is a great place to buy stuff. I use pumice, which will last for years and does not have any real consequences in terms of ecological use of resources and that sort of thing. And I use the Twofold Products organic compost. It's very, very well composted. There's not a lot of visible wood product in it, which is important to me because I don't want to induce rot if I can possibly avoid it. And then my secret sauce is right here in the form of rice. rice hulls. Rice hulls are primarily made out of silica. They're extremely inexpensive. They last for a long time. I've been using them for years, and they are inexpensive. You get 5 cubic feet of rice hulls for $17 at concentrates, which is a great deal. And it's a byproduct of rice production, so it is completely defensible. And then for vegetables, I use this Stutzman Farms Super Green 322. It's a composted steer manure fertilizer. It's made in Canby, Oregon, which is just a few miles away from where I live, and so not transporting things a long way to get them into my hands. And so this is going to be the compost mix, or the container mix that I'm going to use for my GreenStalk. All right, well, it takes every bit of a cubic foot of soil to fill this up, and maybe a little bit more. What I'd like to do is to put a thick layer in there, wet it down, tamp it down a little bit with my hand, and then do more. GreenStalk says to fill it up to the very top, and part of the reason I'm sure they're saying that is because it does get reduced in size, particularly at the ends of the pockets, as one waters. And so it's important to make sure that it's topped off so you don't end up with a big divot at the end. All right, so I had to make several batches of my container mix. That's the one that I started with. And then we've got 2 of the originals and the leaf. And then each of these will get their disc inserted as I build this tower. And the GreenStalk will be assembled momentarily, and then I can start to fill it with plants, which is exciting and frankly the most enjoyable part of this process. But on each layer I top dressed at least the pockets with this high quality compost, and so that's top dressing, which is another thing that Gary Matsuoka talks about, which is as much as possible keeping that compost on the surface. And so it'll be feeding, and then of course I'm going to feed with liquid fertilizer, and then I'll throw some additional granular fertilizer if things are looking peaked and need some help during the growing season. Well, here it is, the brand new blue or blueberry GreenStalk. It's completely filled. I'm really happy with the way it rolled. It rolled super nicely, easy to control. The bigger wheels are a bonus at about a quarter of the cost. So now I can get to working on filling this thing with plants, which is going to be really fun. Lots of flowers. Bye. All right, here's the blueberry GreenStalk, and it is planted out. I love the way it looks. The bottom row is all strawberries. The second tier is a fire and ice hosta and beets, which is a funny combination, but I found this root-bound $4 hosta at a hardware store today, divided up into 6. So I have plenty for here. And then I've got tier, last of the original tiers, has onion starts, and then the top is all flowers, and I've got rose geranium starts that I had put in rooting hormone about 3 or 4 days ago, and hopefully they'll root in nicely there. And this is a spiderwort, and took some cuttings off of that. And also in with the rose geranium is one of my favorite plants, which is Yerba Buena, and that's a North American native, West Coast native mint that smells amazing, and should be a nice trailer to dangle down the side of this beautiful GreenStalk. And so thanks for following along with this process. I'm gonna go get the my electric leaf blower and blow off the deck, because there's just stuff everywhere and it's a mess. But I'm enjoying it, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. I don't know if you followed along with my short that I had about my homemade, what I called brown stock. The birds were going nuts and digging around in here, so I took some of our 4th of July decorations that are shiny and move around in the wind, and now they're accompanying me to as we approach the 4th of July and keeping away the birds. All right, have a nice day.